I didn't mean to interrupt anything.
Not at all, Mrs. Sycamore.
No, Mother.
I just came down for a manuscript, then you can go right ahead. Oh, here it is. Sex takes a holiday. Well, good night, Tony.
Good night, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, I think you can call me Penny. Don't you, Alice? Ah, well, at least I hope so.
What was that?
Oh, it's all right, Tony. That was just Father.
Oh, this time of night?
Any time of night, any time of day.
You know, you're more beautiful, more lovely, more adorable than anyone else in the whole world.
Oh, no, Tony. This is something I should have told you a long time ago, but I didn't have the courage. I let myself be swept away by you because I love you.
Darling.
Oh, but wait, Tony. I want to make it clear to you. You're of a different world, a whole different kind of people. Oh, I don't mean money or socially, that's too silly, but your family and mine, it just wouldn't work, Tony. It just wouldn't work. I'm sorry.
All right, head her away. That's why they call it money, Essie. Because she can't dance.
Well, I don't call it dancing what she does. Oh, hello. How was the ballet?
It was fine, Essie.
Wonderful.
Hello.
Good evening.
Look, people, do you meet Fred and I just saw Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Do you think she can dance, Mr. Kirby?
Why, yes, I always thought so.
What does she do anyhow? Now look, you're Fred Astaire and I'm Ginger Rogers.
Essie, please.
I'm only going to use him for a minute. Very good, Mr. Kirby.
Essie, you're just as good at dancing as Ginger Rogers. We all agree.
You see, Ed?
Yeah, come on, Essie. We're butting in here.
Oh, but they've been together all evening. Good night, Mr. Kirby. Good night, Alice.
Good night, Mrs. Carmichael.
Good night. Essie, did you ask Grandpa about us having a baby?
Yes, he said go right ahead.
You see, that's what it would be like.
Oh, I didn't mind that. Anyhow, we're not going to live with your family. It's just you and I.
No, Tony, it's never quite that. I love them deeply, and some people could break away, but I couldn't. I know they do rather strange things sometimes, but they're gay and they're fun, and I don't know, they have a kind of nobility about them.
Darling, what of it?
Oh, and look at Grandpa. 35 years ago, he just quit work one day. He went right up to in the elevator to his office and came right back down again. He just stopped. He could have been a rich man, but he said it took too much time, so for 35 years he just collected snakes and has gone to circuses and commencements. It never occurred to any of them that maybe they could do something else. I don't know, Tony. It's just that...
Oh, hello there, children.
Good evening, Mr. Vanderhof.
Say, how's the weather outside? Looks like a nice summer evening.
It's lovely, Grandpa.
Well, I'm off. Good night, Mr. Kirby. I've got a date on the corner with a policeman.
Policeman?
Yes, a standing date. 12:30 every night. I've known him since he was a little boy, you see. He's really a doctor, but after he graduated, he came to me and said he didn't really want to be a doctor. He wanted to be a policeman. So I said, you go ahead and be a policeman if that's what you want to be. And that's what he did. Say, how do you like my hat?
It's very nice, Mr. Vanderhof.
Yeah, I like it too. The government gave it to me.
Oh. Excuse me, I didn't know you folks were in here.
No, it's fine, Donald.
Rheba kind of fancied some candy. Oh, there it is. Y'all don't mind, do you?
No, Donald.
Thanks. Did you have a nice evening?
Yes, Donald.
Nice dinner?
Yes, Donald.
Was the ballet nice?
Yes, Donald.
That's nice. Well, good night.
You see what I mean, Tony? Could you explain Donald to your father? Could you explain Grandpa? You couldn't, Tony. You couldn't. I love you, but I love them too. And it just wouldn't work, Tony. It just can't work.
There's only one thing you said tonight that matters. It makes any sense at all. You love me.
But Tony...
But darling, don't you think other people have had this same problem? Everybody's got a family.
But not like mine.
But it doesn't matter if we love each other.
I don't know.
All that matters is that we love each other. That's so, isn't it?
Yes.
Well then.
Tony!
Now, I'd like to see a little gaiety around here. Young gentlemen calling and getting engaged and everything.
What do I say?
Well, first, you thank the young man for getting engaged to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby, for getting engaged to me.
And then you tell him what it was about him that first took your girlish heart.
The back of your head.
Huh?
Yep. It wasn't your charm and it wasn't your money. It was the back of your head. I just liked it.
And what happened when I turned around?
Oh, I got used to it after a while.
Oh, think of it, Alice. We're pretty lucky, aren't we?
I know I'm lucky. I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
I'm not exactly unlucky myself. Oh, dear, I guess I ought to... goodbye, Alice. Until tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Isn't it wonderful we work in the same office? Otherwise, I'd be hanging around here all day.
Won't it be funny in the office tomorrow? Going on as though nothing has happened?
Thank God I'm vice president. I can dictate to you whenever I want. Dear Miss Sycamore, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Tony, you're such a fool.
Why don't you meet me in the drugstore in the morning? Before you go up to the office. I'll have millions of things to say to you.
All right.
And then lunch and dinner tomorrow night.
Tony, what will people say?
It's bound to come out sometime. In fact, if you know a nice house top, I'd like to do a little shouting.
Yes, sir, Mr. Depinna, we did a good night's work.
Oh, that's what? 500 Black Panthers, 300 militaries, and 8 dozen junior kitty bombers.
Pretty good. Why, hello, Alice. You just come in?
No, Father, I've been home quite a while.
You have a nice evening?
Yes, Father, it's been lovely.
Say, I'd like you to take a look at this new red fire. Mr. Depinna, will you turn off the lights? I want Alice to get the full effect.
What, Father?
I want you to take a look at this new red fire. It's beautiful. I promise you, Alice, it's very beautiful.
I'm sure it is, Father.
Eventually, it will be beautiful. For whatever reason, it is not yet beautiful. But it will get there. Mr. Depinna, did you do something wrong with this firework? Why isn't it beautiful?
I might have added a bit too much magnesium or copper.
I don't suppose you have any matches, Father.
Oh, wait, look! There! Isn't it beautiful?
Yes, Father. Everything's beautiful. It's the most beautiful red fire in the world.
You can take your old job. I'm ready to read you the new play, Miss Wellington. Just a minute, dearie. Just a minute. The only thing is, I hope you don't mind me asking this, but you don't drink when you're acting, do you, Miss Wellington? I'm just asking, of course. I'm glad you brought it up. The minute I enter a stage door. The bottle gets put away. Once the play opens, I'm never taught it to drop. Until intermission.
Have you been on the stage a long time, Miss Wellington?
All my life, I've played everything. Ever seen Peg on My Heart?
Oh, yes.
I saw it too. Good show. My hot night, ain't it?
Would you like me to open the window, Miss Wellington?
No. To hell with the weather. Sad. He's cute.
Well, Rheba, she's just acting, that's all. She doesn't mean anything.
Well, whenever you're ready, Miss Wellington, I thought we'd go upstairs. I thought we'd leave the new play up in my room.
All right. I'm ready. When I see snakes, it's time to lay down.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, those are real, Miss Wellington. Those are Grandpa's. Those are real. Oh dear. She's not going to. Miss Wellington.
She's out like a light.
Better let her sleep it off.
Rheba, Miss Wellington just passed out.
Good. Do you think she'll be all right?
Yes, but I wouldn't cast her in the religious play.
Well, I suppose I'll just have to wait.
Penny, next time you meet an actress on top of a bus, I think I'd send her the play instead of bringing her home to read it.
Ed, I wish you'd stop printing and take those love dreams around. You need to be back in time to play for me when Kolenkhof comes tonight.
Kolenkhof coming tonight?
Yes, tomorrow night's his night, but I had to change it on account of Alice.
Ah, big doings around here tomorrow night.
Yes, you know, I'm so nervous you'd think it was me getting engaged instead of Alice.
What do you think they'll be like? His mother and father. Ed, what are you doing now?
Penny, did you see the new mask on me? Guess who it is?
Oh, don't tell me now, Ed. Helen of Troy.
It's Mrs. Roosevelt.
You know, the great thing about these Meccano sets is they can be so many different things. Last week, it was the Empire State Building.
Now, what's it this week?
The Queen Mary.
Hasn't got the right hat on.
Oh, look, Mr. Depinna, would you open the door and see if there's a man standing in front of the house?
Why?
Why? For the past couple of days when I've been out delivering candy, I think a man has been following me.
Ed, you're crazy.
No, I'm not. He stands outside and watches the house.
Well, I'll take a look and see.
Thank you.
What would anybody want to follow you for, Ed?
Well, there has been a lot of kidnapping going on, Grandpa.
Well, yes, but not Ed.
Well, did you see him?
No, I didn't see anybody.
Sure.
Positive. I just saw him walk away.
You see?
Well, that could have been anybody walking along the street, Ed. Now will you hurry and get back?
Want to go down now, Mr. Sycamore, and finish packing those fireworks?
Yeah, we've got to take the stuff up to Mount Vernon in the morning.
Oh, Mother, do you think you could lend me a piece of paper? I want to write a list for Rheba for tomorrow night. Yes, of course, dear. Here's some. Thank you. Oh, Mother, what's going on with your actress friend? Is she giving a performance? No, she's not acting as. She's really drunk. Essie, dear, you're going to give Rheba the kitchen all day tomorrow, right? Because she'll need it.
Yes, I'll start a new batch of candy right now, so I'll be way ahead.
Thanks, dear. Oh, I'm coming home at 3 o'clock tomorrow, Mother. Will you have everything down in the cellar by that time? The typewriter and the snakes and the glockenspiel and the printing press.
And Miss Wellington.
And Miss Wellington. That'll give me enough time to set the table and fix the flowers.
Now, if everything isn't so perfect tomorrow night, that's all right, too.
You'll do that, won't you, Mother? Of course, dear. And we better have cocktails ready by 7:15 in case they come a little early. Oh, I wonder if I ought to let Rheba cook the dinner. What do you think, Grandpa?
Now, from what I've seen of the boy, the Kirbys must be very nice people. And if everything isn't so perfect tomorrow, that'll be quite fine.
Oh, I'm not trying to impress them or make them think we're anything we aren't. I just want everything to go off well.
No reason it shouldn't.
We're all doing everything we can to make it a nice party. Oh, darlings, I love you. You're the most wonderful family in the world. And I'm the happiest girl in the world. Why, I didn't know anyone could be so happy. These past few days have been like floating. Oh, and you don't know what it does to me, Grandpa, just seeing him.
Just seeing him? Just seeing him for lunch and dinner, and until 4 o'clock in the morning, and then at 9 o'clock the next morning you're back at the office, and there he is again. Just seeing him, eh?
I don't care, Grandpa. I'm in love. Oh, Rheba! Rheba!
It's nice to see her happy, isn't it?
Oh, yes. When I was engaged to Paul, I remember how happy I was. And you know, I still feel that way.
It's nice to see how Ed and Essie get along, too.
Oh, yes, and Donald and Rheba, even though they're not married. Do you think Mr. Depinna will ever marry anyone, Grandpa?
Well, I don't know. There is Miss Wellington.
Oh, dear. I wish she'd wake up. If we're going to read the play tonight...
Mrs. Sycamore! Mrs. Sycamore, look what I found! Remember?
Oh, why, of course! It's my painting of you as the discus thrower! Look, Grandpa!
Now say, Mr. Depinna, you've gotten a little thinner since then, haven't you?
Have I? Well, there's still something there.
Oh, well, it was a long time ago. That was just before I stopped painting. That's 8 years.
It's a shame you've never finished it.
Well, I always meant to, but I just started to write a play one day. That was that. I never painted again.
It's a good thing, too. I was going to have to strip next.
My goodness. Just think, that day that I came to deliver the ice, I was going to stay here for 8 years.
Oh, yes, the milkman was here for 5, just ahead of you.
Say, why did he leave anyway? I forget.
Oh, he didn't leave. He died.
Oh, yes.
He was such a nice man. Remember the funeral, Grandpa? We never knew his name, and it was kind of hard to get a certificate.
Ah, yes, that's right. What was the name we came up for him again?
Martin Vanderhof. I gave him your name.
Yes, that's right.
It was such a nice thought. Otherwise, we never would have gotten all those flowers.
Didn't hurt me any. I haven't got any mail anymore, and haven't got a telephone call from that day to this.
Yes, it really was a nice thought.
You know, I really wish you would finish this, Mrs. Sycamore. I'd kind of like to have it.
You know what, Mr. Depinna? I think I'll do some work on it right tonight.
Say, will you?
Yes, I don't think she's going to wake up anyhow. Look, Mr. Depinna, why don't you go down into the cellar and put on your costume and bring up the easel? Is it still down there?
I think so.
Oh, and I'll go find my palette and brushes.
Rabishka, my little Rabishka.
Mr. Kolenkhof. Hello, Mr. Kolenkhof. As he's in the kitchen.
Madam Sycamore, I greet you. Tell me, Grandpa, what should I do about Rabishka? I tell her she would make a great toe dancer, but she laughs only.
Oh, Mr.
Kolenkhof, dear.
Thank you. I lose my mind sometimes. Mr. Kolenkhof, I could never get up on my toes. I have flat feet.
Ah, Rabishka, you could wear diamonds.
Mr. Kolenkhof.
She is a great girl. What is that?
Oh, it's a picture of Mr. Depinna. Penny painted it.
It stinks.
I know. What do you think of that?
What is that?
A friend of Mrs. Sycamore's. She came to dinner.
She is, drunk, no?
She is drunk, yes. How are you, Kolenkhof?
Ah, magnificent. Life is chasing around inside of me like a squirrel.
You don't say. Say, anything new in Russia? Heard from your friend in Moscow?
I just heard from him. I sent for you. The stamp.
Oh, thank you.
They have sent him to Siberia.
How's he like it?
Oh, he has escaped. He has escaped and gone back to Moscow. Oh, he will get them if they do not get him. Oh, the Soviet government. I could take the whole Soviet government and...
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Kolenkhof. I'll go put my dance clothes on right away.
Tonight, you will be the Vertback Pavlova. Tonight, we will take something new.
Now tell me, Mr. Kolenkhof, is Essie making any progress?
Confidentially, she stinks.
I know. But as long as she's happy.
Sure do tickle Rheba, Mr. Kolenkhof.
Ah, she is a great woman, Donald. What do you think of the Soviet government?
The what, Mr. Kolenkhof?
I withdraw the question. What do you think of this government?
I like it fine. I'm on relief, you know.
Oh, yes, and you like it?
Yeah, it's all right. The only thing is, you have to go around to this place every week to get it. Sometimes you got to stand in line for near half an hour. Government ought to be run better than that.
Government ought to stop sending me letters. You know, they want me down at the United States Marshal's office at 10 o'clock Tuesday morning. Well, look at that.
Ah, income tax. Oh, they've got you, Grandpa.
They want me to give them a lot of money as to keep Donald on relief, too.
You don't say. You mean you're gonna pay it out? You're gonna pay it from now on?
That's what they want.
You mean I can come right here instead of standing in that line?
Well, no, Donald, I'm sorry. You're going to have to waste a half an hour of your week at standing in that line.
Well, I don't like it. It breaks up my week.
He should have been in Russia when the revolution came. Then he would have stood in a line, a bread line. What they have done to Russia. Think of it, Grandpa. The Grand Duchess Olga Katrina, a cousin of the Tsar. She is a waitress in Child's restaurant. I ordered baked beans from her only yesterday. It broke my heart. A crazy world, Grandpa.
Oh, the world's not so crazy. It's the people in it. Life's pretty simple if you just relax.
How can you relax in times like these?
Well, there wouldn't be times like these if you just relax. That's just what I'm saying. But people forget that. I know I did. I was right in the thick of it, clawing and scratching, a regular jungle, until one day it just occurred to me. I wasn't having any fun.
So you did what?
I just relaxed. 35 years ago that was, and I've been a happy man ever since.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Kolenkhof.
Miss Alice, I have not seen you to present my congratulations.
Thank you.
May you be very happy and have many children. That is my prayer for you.
Isn't that a thought?
Love. Love is all that is left in the world, Grandpa.
Yes, but there is plenty of that.
And soon Stalin will take that away too. I tell you, Grandpa.
Seems so nice to get into my art things again. They still look all right, don't they, Grandpa?
Oh, yes, indeed.
You are a breath of Paris, Madame Sycamore.
Oh, why, thank you, Mr. Kolenkhof.
I didn't know you worked for the WPA.
Oh, no, Donald. I used to paint all the time, you see.
It happened again.
No nonsense, Ed. It's your imagination.
No, it isn't. It happens every time I go to deliver candy.
Well, maybe he just wants a piece of candy.
Sorry for you to laugh, Grandpa, but he keeps following me.
You do not know what following is. In Russia, everybody is followed. I was followed right out of the country.
See, Ed? It's just your imagination.
Well, maybe.
Here we are.
Where do you want this? Over here?
I'll put it over there, Mr. Depinna.
Ed, for tonight's lesson, we will use the first movement of Shahalafa.
Mr. Depinna, has something happened to your face in these last 8 years?
No, I don't think it's any different.
Yes, Miss Wellington? Yes. Oh, dear. I'm sorry, Mr. Kolenkhof. I couldn't find my slippers.
We have a hot night for it, my Pavlova. But art is only achieved through perspiration.
Oh, why, that's wonderful, Mr. Kolenkhof. Art is only achieved through perspiration. Oh, yes.
Yes, but it helps if you got a little talent with it. I only made 2 bullseyes last night. I've got to do better than that.
You are ready? We begin. Now, pirouette, pirouette. Come, you could do that. It's been 8 years now. And that's under pressure, under pressure. No, Grandpa, you cannot relax with Stalin in Russia. The Tsar relaxed, and look what happened to him.
Oh, now, he was too late.
Mr. Kolenkhof? Mr.
If
Kolenkhof?
he had not relaxed, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina would not be selling baked beans today.
Mr. Kolenkhof?
I'm sorry, we go back to the pirouette.
Mr. Depinna, could you pop out your chest? Oh, that's right.
A little prayer with the hands. The whole body must work. And help us with the music. The music must be free, too. Plie, releve, pirouette, chasse. Oh, no. And arabesque.
Mrs. Sycamore? Mrs. Sycamore? What, Rheba?
Sorry, Mr. Kolenkhof, I couldn't find my slippers.
We have a hot night for it, my Pavlova. Art is only achieved through perspiration.
Why, that's wonderful, Mr. Kolenkhof. Art is only achieved through perspiration.
Well, yes, but it helps if you've got a little talent with it. Only made 2 bullseyes last night. You've got to do better than that.
You are ready? We begin. Now, pirouette. Come, you could do that. It's been 8 years now. At last, Andresha. No, Grandpa, you cannot relax with Stalin in Russia. The Tsar relaxed, and look what happened to him.
Now, he was too late.
Mr. Kolenkhof? Mr.
If
Kolenkhof?
he had not relaxed, the Grand Duchess Katrina would not be selling big beans today.
Mr. Kolenkhof?
I'm sorry, we go back to the pirouette.
Mr. Depinna, could you puff out your chest? That's right.
A little freer with the hands. The whole body must work. And help us with the music. The music must be free too. Plie, releve, pirouette, chasse. Oh, no. And a pass.
Mrs. Sycamore? Mrs. Sycamore? What, Rheba?
Good evening.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do? Are we too early?
Oh, no, it's perfectly all right. We're glad to see you.
Well, yes, of course. Only we thought it was to be tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night?
What?
Oh, now, it's perfectly all right. Just make yourselves at home.
Tony, how could you possibly? I don't know. I thought it was.
Really, Tony, this is most embarrassing.
Oh, not at all. Now, we weren't doing a thing.
Oh, no, just a quiet evening at home.
Yes, that's all. Now, this is Alice's mother, Mrs. Sycamore.
How do you do?
Alice's sister, Mrs. Carmichael. Mr. Carmichael. Mr. Kolenkhof. And Mr. Depinna.
How do you do? Pardon my costume. I'll change out the red.
And Mr. Depinna, would you please tell Mr. Sycamore to come right up? Tell him Mr. and Mrs. Kirby are here.
Oh, and be sure to put his pants on.
All right. Pardon me.
Tony, where's Alice? I'd like to meet her, please.
I don't know. Where is she?
She was here a little while ago. Again, we thought it was tomorrow night.
Penny, would you please call Alice?
Oh, yes. Alice, dear. What is it, Mother? We've got a surprise for you. Could you come down, please? Well.
Mrs. Kirby, may I take your wrap?
Well, thank you. If you're pretty sure that we're not.
Oh, now, Mrs. Kirby, it's perfectly all right. They're completely harmless. And take them into the kitchen.
It's just that we're so used to them around the house.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but snakes happen to be.
I feel very uncomfortable about this. Tony, how could you have done such a thing?
I'm sorry, Dad. I thought it was tonight.
It was very careless of you. Very.
Come now, Mr. Kirby. Anybody can get mixed up.
Now, Penny, how about some dinner for these folks? They've come for dinner, you know.
Oh, please don't bother. We're really not hungry at all.
No, it's not a bit of a bother. Ed, will you tell Donald to go down to the A&P and get half a dozen bottles of beer and some canned salmon? Do you like canned salmon, Mr. Kirby?
Please don't trouble Mrs. Sycamore. I have a little indigestion anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about you, Mrs. Kirby? Do you like canned salmon?
Oh, I'm very fond of it.
You could have frankfurters if you'd rather.
Either will do, thank you.
Make it some frankfurters.